Alright guys, welcome back to the Mokey channel. Today we stay on Goat format in the year 2002 and let's jump into another deck profile here I've prepared for you. So this is one of the decks, one of the first decks I've built in this format, but I really enjoy this deck. I don't play it that often nowadays because people mostly like Go format because it's not that fast compared to other formats. But this deck is really fast, even for this format. This is basically a gate turbo deck. So let's jump right into it. If you've never seen it, this may be interesting for you. So 1 BLS, basically best monster card of this format, but not best card of this deck. So we play triple Chaos Sorcerers. So as you have seen, I've played only 2 Chaos Sorcerers in my Chaos Turbo deck, but 3 Chaos Sorcerers in this deck. So you may ask yourself, why would you do that? But Chaos Sorcerer is really important in this deck, and you will see really easy why. Then we play the best monster of this deck, which is of course D-Mok. D-Mok recycles spare cards from your graveyard, and you can instantly use them. He gets banished when he leaves the field, also really important. And he banishes monsters when he destroys them by battle. So the battle destruction and removal is actually pretty good. And also the spell retrieval from the graveyard is actually so amazing. And you want to basically bring out him and go for some great shenanigans. And if he banishes himself by leaving the field, this is also pretty amazing. Sometimes people think this is actually not that good, but in this format, yeah, you can use that to your advantage. And then we play the Creator. And this deck plays only big boss monsters and 3 monsters that are not big, but actually pretty useful to special summon, because this deck will special summon a lot. One mystical Jakar. If you don't know what this card does, if you ever saw this Gates deck, this deck is called sometimes H.A.M. This card is really useful. You can basically create not really, I would not say Yada lock, but a situation you can compare to Yada lock, because he will put the destroyed monster back on top of the deck. So if he destroys the monster and puts it back on top of the deck, and your opponent has not any outs for your plays, he will just draw the card again and again and again, and he will not get any further. So this is a pseudo lock. So yeah, I think this also has a name. I think it's called the Jakar lock, but I'm not 100% sure if it's really called Jakar lock or it has a different name. But this is really useful. Also stars, like levels, are really important. D-Mok is 8, he is 8, he is 7. So you need different levels, in case you didn't know what this deck actually wants to do. Then we play Jinzo, he's level 6. Of course, Jinzo is really useful. Then we play Hades. If you don't know what this card does, he basically negates every monster he destroys and their effects. So, no DD Warrior Lady, no flip effects, no recruiters. He just says no bitch and then he runs over it. He's also level 6. And then we start with level 5. Of course, Anrite Pashev. So we have now level 8, level 7, level 6 and level 5 monsters here. And we have also level 4, 3 Sacred Crane. Sacred Crane is just a simple effect. Special summon this guy and draw 1 card. So normally you would hate to see him on your hand, because why would you have it on your hand? It's not that easy to special summon him there. But this card wants to play 3 of him, because special summoning him is actually pretty useful. You want to see cards, you want to dig, and you will see pretty fast why. Then we play one Pot of Greed, one Graceful Charity, and we don't play duo, because we could do that. We could play some duo shenanigans with Demog, but we are not interested in that. We are interested in killing our opponent. We are basically trying to start the game and then setting up for the one turn kill. In gold format, yes, one turn kill. We play card destruction because if you play a lot of boss monsters and cards can sometimes clog in your hand and you just want to get rid of the new cards. That's why we play card destruction. We just need to throw away and then you get new cards, and we don't care if they're on our graveyard because we banish them with Chaos Sorcerer and BLS. That's why we play 3 of them, and we actually are happy if big monsters are in our graveyard. We draw cards. We don't care if they get 1,000 life points. 1,000 life points is nothing compared to 9,000 or 10,000 damage. And also, sometimes you just mill this. So, yeah. Special summon from your graveyard is important. You play Demog. So yeah, you wanna do that. You want a special summon Demog because then you will get into your combo plays. One Heavy Storm and one Giant Trunade. We just want to get rid of spell and trap cards that are in our way. Also, you can basically reuse this with Giant Trunade and start some more shenanigans if you're on it and you basically want to try to kill in one turn. So playing one more of those, like you cannot play 2 Heavy Storms, but you can play one more Giant Trunade. And then we start off with our Turbo Engine. Yeah, so if you don't know what this card does, you basically activate this and your opponent has to declare a level. And because you play so many different levels, it's really hard to say what level is actually right to call. So this makes this deck actually pretty skillful, because if you play against this deck, you have to know your shit. You have to see in your opponent's graveyard, you have to guess how his deck is built. So first game is most likely really, really awkward for you, because there are different variants you can play from this deck. But in the second game, it's really important to know what kind of deck he is playing and to know what level you have to call when. Because if you call wrong, you just mill until you reach a monster. If your opponent calls wrong, you get to special summon it. If he calls right, it goes to the graveyard. So even getting this card to the monster getting to the graveyard is not really bad for us, because we just mill, and we also mill a lot of powerful spells to our graveyard, and this is why we want Demog. Because if we get a lot of spell cards in our graveyard, this is amazing, because he will just grab one of the big power spells. And then we play 3 monster gates. This is just amazing, because this card does actually what this card does, but your opponent cannot call anything. You have to tribute 1 monster, and then you go like mill, see what monster we have till it's normal summonable, and then we special summon it. Of course, BLS and Chaos Sorcerers are not special summonable by this. They get to the graveyard. So if you mill and he's one of them, they are just going to the graveyard, and we just keep digging until we reach a monster that is special summonable. And of course, we can only special summon good cards first. If we special summon Creator or Demog or Jakal or Jinzo, Hades, Aranite Pasha, really good. If we special summon one of these, alright, that's pretty good. We draw 1 card, we see what we can do next. And also, we can use this guy after his special summon and tribute him for another big monster maybe in our hand. So we go on and on and on and on. And then we play triple goats, because we usually like to start. We can use these for protection. We don't need to kill in our first turn. We set these. We want to tribute tokens maybe for monster gate. This is really useful. And also, yeah, you can basically stall until you have the 1 turn kill prepared for your win. Then we play Mon Metamorphosis. There's no need for 2. One is actually pretty useful. You have a lot of big monsters you can change into. Yeah, their effects your extra deck are also pretty useful. You can get them into graveyard for banishment and for chaos sorcerer, BLS and stuff. And yeah, pretty useful. So then we play the game-changing card, which is Dimension Fusion. We play triple Dimension Fusion. So if you don't know what Dimension Fusion does, you play 2000 life points, and you and your opponent special summon all your banished monster cards, all of them. So, as you may be remembered, this guy gets banished if he leaves the field. This guy can also grab spell cards from your graveyard. So, if he grabs a spell card, for example, let me show you, Monster Gate. What happens? If you use Monster Gate on him, he gets banished, because if he leaves the field, he gets banished. You get another big monster, and then you use your mill special summon, and then you can use Dimension Fusion. Have you another big monster here, for example Jinzo, or I don't know what you will have, but anything. Use Dimension Fusion, summon him back, get another spell card, and go on with your combos. And this is why this is really, really useful, because you can grab another Monster Gate or a Diffusion maybe. And you play 3 Chaos Sorcerers and 1 BLS, so you will most likely banish big monsters and you will special summon them all at once. All at once. And the creator cannot be special summoned from the graveyard, but the creator can be special summoned when he's banished. That does not forbid him to be special summoned when he's banished. So you have even more control over your graveyard after that. And then we play one card, which is really important in this deck, because we don't want all our BLSs and all our Chaos Sorcerers in the graveyard. We want them all, at least one in our hand. So we play one Monster Incarnation. Well, this is basically making the mill engine as a search engine, because we can discard one card in our hand to the graveyard and take any monster in our graveyard to our hand. So if we see PLS in our graveyard, we just take him into our hand. We banish then, and then we summon with Diffusion. And this is actually pretty powerful. And then I play one card. I think this is important to have at least one of these cards in your deck. This card gives you 1000 life points per card you destroy from your own spell and trap card zone. So what you're basically doing, this is a quick spell, so you can chain it to stuff. So what you're basically doing, you're activating spells, and you just chain this, and you get life points. You need life points, because sometimes you need to do this more than once in your turn. You actually maybe need to do this also twice per duel. So if you really want to win, you maybe need some life points. I had multiple cases where I needed life points. So this card actually, just imagine you have goats, and you just activate goats and summon this, activate this as a chain. You will destroy your own spell card of the goats, right? But it doesn't matter. It was already activated, so the effect will go through. And you have other cards that are chainable like this as well. So, for example, Jar of Greed. Jar of Greed we play 3 times. We just want to see more cards. Basically placeholder. You can also kick these and chain them, and you will get more life points for your plays. So it doesn't matter. And then we play one Call of the Haunted, because Call of the Haunted brings back any monster in our graveyard, and we only have big monsters we want to summon. We also have Demog in the graveyard. This is also great to summon. So this is why I also cited at the beginning, even if the monster who we want to special summon, if he calls the right level, even if it's in the graveyard, it's not that bad, because we usually can work in our graveyard, because we have Creator, we have Burial, and we have Call of the Haunted. And Demog is in every position he's good. If he's in your hand, you most likely can tribute summon him because you special summon a lot by Monster Gate and Reasoning. And if he's in your graveyard, you can special summon him with Call of the Haunted, or maybe Creator, or maybe Burial. Also, you can banish him with BLS or Chaos Versa to get him for the banished zone special summon. So if he's banished, he is also really useful because you play triple damage infusion. And this is why this card, this deck lives and dies by this card. This card is the most useful card in this deck, and this card just loves to special summon like 3 or 4 big monster cards and just attacks for one big amount of damage and just goes through this. And then let me show you really quick in a few seconds extra deck. Alright, we have tokens. We don't care about them, but we need them for our goats. We play this. Yeah, it's goat format, right? So I don't think I need to explain 1000 Knights of Restrict. One of this guy. I have them in the extra deck for level 3 monster plays, but I don't play level 3 in this deck. Play one of him. Actually useful. He's dark and you can tribute. If you really need it, tribute one of your cranes to have a light in your graveyard if you really need it. So that's not that bad. Dark Belter, negating normal spells, really useful. Paying 1000 life points, gives you control over games. Yeah, negating trap cards, normal trap cards, really useful. Ryu Senshi, also negating trap cards, really useful. And also don't forget, Chaos not Chaos, Demog can get another metamorphosis from the graveyard, so you can use them more than once. So if you ask yourself why I have copies of this, I use this extra deck also for other goat decks. But of course, I have the option to make multiple of them. 2 of him. He's just banish your opponent's graveyard. It's just Kaiku on crack. H.A.M King. Yeah, he's good in some situations. He blocks out goats completely, which is actually pretty important. If you want to push through and you know your opponent most likely will have goats, he just says no. One of her, one of him. They are just lights. They are for level purposes. One of him because he's broken. One of him because he's good. You can basically use BLS's effect and then get to this and then still use this effect, just so you can get rid of so many cards from your opponent. And one of this guy, even though he can't be summoned. One of this guy and one of this guy. So really, you can play as many extra deck monsters in this format. There's no restriction to it, and yeah, so the extra deck has no real meaning for some people because you just play whatever you want. So yeah, this is this deck. I hope you liked it. I hope I explained everything really well so you understand what this deck does, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out, guys.